Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, Booked with Juby. I am wrapping up everything that I read in August, and I had an excellent August reading month, so I can't wait to share with you all the goodies that I read and listened to this month. Okay, let's start with the first book I read in August, which is Beartown by Fredrik Backman. This is the first Fredrik Backman book I've ever read, and to say I'm a fan is an understatement. Now, I will give you a heads up. This book is very, very heavily trauma-filled, emotion-filled. There's a lot going on. It's also a book that I don't feel like you can fast read this one. Like, you really have to pay attention. So it took me a little longer to read this than normal, for me anyway, just because I needed to process what I was reading because it was just so deep and there was so much going on. It's also through so many point of views. It's not just one point of view. It's like a whole town's POVs. And so there's lots of characters changing up very quickly, and honestly, just a fantastic read. Basically, this book is about a small town that is obsessed with hockey. Now, I know you're like, ooh, hockey. I don't know if that's something I'm into. Doesn't matter if you like hockey or not. That's not the point. It's what this book represents. It's about trauma and loyalty, and then how a single event can basically fracture a community. And it's heartbreaking. It's deeply human, and I really couldn't stop thinking about it for days after. I actually have lent it to my mom. As you can see, she's oh my gosh, she's already at page 138. So she's also been reading this, but she told me, she's like, you know, I can't just like read it. I need to really pay attention and be prepared for it. So I think she's enjoying it just as much as I did. Now, I know this is part of a series, so I actually went ahead and picked up the second one, which I'm going to try and read. I think I'm probably going to wait till November, just because these are wintry vibes, and I'm really in my like spooky fall vibe right now. So I'm going to just hold off, but I am going to read the next ones. And I would be interested, oh, here, I have it right here for you. Us Against You is the next one. But yeah, so really like this book. It was 5-star for me. Have you guys read any other Fredrik Backman? I'm really curious to know what you think of the author. I definitely would like to try some more novels by him. Okay, the second book I read in August is The Housemaid is Watching by Freida McFadden. This is the third book in the Housemaid series, and I'm going to be really transparent with you guys. I didn't love this. You don't need to read it. Read the first one. The second one too is good. It's not as good as the first one. The first one is, you know, just if you've never read a Freida, like read The Housemaid, you'll really enjoy it. It's just a fast-paced, like fun thriller, if that makes sense. But this one, I didn't need this. I only rated it like a 2.5. I probably could have DNF'd it, to be honest with you, but I have trouble DNFing, so I don't know. It was fine. This one follows Millie, and basically you catch up with her later on in life after all the other things have transpired. And again, it just wasn't for me. So I don't know. I still love Freida. This one, I didn't need this one. Okay, the next two books I'm going to talk about together because they are part of a series. And if you have watched any of my other videos, or if you haven't, check them out because I talk about this. But I have a very long story about wanting to read Firefly Layne by Kristin and Fly Away, and how I came to even getting Firefly Layne in the first place because of this one. And that's in some of my other videos if you'd like to check that out. But basically, I finally got to read it. And oh my gosh. I actually knew nothing about the book going in, other than I just wanted to read it because of Kristin, and my goodness, wow, I am emotionally wrecked. I'm still thinking about it. I've actually started the TV series on Netflix now, which, by the way, is very different from the book. So if you've only watched the series, I would recommend picking up the book. It's definitely, I think they did a good job with the series, but it is very different. They had to change a lot of things, but it makes sense in the grand scheme of things, but they kept the core of it. But basically, Firefly Layne follows Kate and Tully. They're best friends over 30 years or something. And it's basically about their bond through life and how they've always been there for each other no matter what. And this book really, truly broke my heart. I sobbed. And also, for those of you keeping tabs, you know my sister ended up borrowing it before me, and she also cried, and she's not an easy crier like me. So I kind of felt that was a success, because she was like, well, why do you want me to cry? And I'm like, because I want you to feel my pain. I don't know, like, so good though. And I'm not really going to talk too much about Flyaway because it is a second novel. Now, I would say worth a read. I know this one's devastating, and it is. It's devastating is the right word, and heartbreaking and emotional and just girlhood and just stunning. I really loved it. But this one, worth a read. I don't want to say too much about it because it'll ruin stuff with this book, but definitely followed up with this one. I don't think you'll be upset. I rated both of them 5 stars. I genuinely loved the characters, even when I hated them, because they do some pretty messed up things sometimes. You're like, why? But at the end, and after reflecting and thinking about it, truly, truly beautiful, beautiful books. Kristin, you make me cry every single time I read one of your novels, and yet I still keep picking them up. So I don't know what that says about me, but here we are. Okay, the next book I read, I actually swapped out a lot of the books at the end of August from the ones that I had previously just chosen in my TBR wants of the month, just because I wanted to fit in a couple more like romance books before the end of summer, because I was like, oh no, why did I pick like more folly vibes? Like I'm not quite there yet. And I had a couple romance, like summer romance novels sitting there, and I was like, you know what? We need to read you first, because otherwise you're just going to sit back here somewhere for the next year because you won't be the right vibe. And so that's why we did that. That's why we switched it up. I was supposed to read The One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, but I am moving that into September because I don't know, this is just giving me more like spooky fall vibes. So that's what we're going to do with that one. But anyway, the next book I read was Say You'll Remember by Abby Jimenez. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos, you know I love Abby Jimenez. She is just like, all her novels are very cute, fun, easy romance to read, which is why I love them. You know, it's not so high stakes. It's just nice. Now, I am going to be so transparent here. I didn't love this one. I liked it, but I didn't love it. And this won't ruin it because it's very, like, you know, it's just one of those tropes, but this is insta-love, and I don't like insta-love. I didn't know that about myself. I don't think I've read too many books that are insta-love, but I didn't like that about it. I wanted more, I don't know, like there was some conflict in the book, but I guess I like a little bit more banter back and forth. Will they, won't they? I think that's more my vibe. So, you know, I did devour this though. So I still liked it. It just was not my favorite of hers. Like the Part of Your World series, I liked all 3 of those a lot. And I can't remember what this one is. I know there's another one coming out in this series who I'm not sure who the next book's about, but it was cute, okay? And it was funny though. I will say this one was really funny. She puts a lot of cute, funny humor into her books. And this one, like I laughed out loud a few times. I just struggled with the insta-love. So that's just me. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot the messenger. That's just my opinion. I still love Abby. Still love all her books. This wasn't a favorite for me. I think it was like a 3-star, but I still liked it. Okay. I still liked it. 3 stars means you still like it. Okay. It's still good. Okay, and like I said, I changed up my August end of the month reads and decided I wanted to do a couple romances, summer romances. So I also had picked up the last Carley Fortune book that I didn't have already, which is Meet Me at the Lake. As you guys all know, or if you don't know, I love Carley Fortune. I discovered her this year, and I am a stan. I'm obsessed with the writing. I don't know what it is. I like the characters. I like the vibe. I like the way she writes. I also love that she's Canadian. I think I might be a little biased in that sense because all the books kind of take place in places I know. So it just feels like very home to me. But anyway, I have heard that this one is everyone's least favorite by Carley. And I don't agree. I loved this book. I loved everything about it. I loved the characters. I liked the story. I thought it was really interesting. You basically follow Fern and Will, and they meet 10 years prior, and Fern has to go back home. She's living in Toronto, but she has to go back home to Muskoka to basically take over her family's hotel business on the lake there because her mother has passed away. And that's where we start this story, and Will shows up. So truly such a good story. I ate this up. I loved Will. I loved Fern. I thought the characters were great. I liked the setting. I loved it. I loved it. It was 5 stars for me. So highly recommend all of Carley Fortune's books, especially in the summertime. But you could read these really anytime. But I don't know. This girl does summer like nobody else. It really was a perfect way to end August for me. Okay, and I added one more romance in there just before the end of August. And this one I also got in a book outlet haul. I knew nothing about it going in. It's Summer Romance by Annabel Monaghan. I really knew nothing about this, and I'm going to be very honest with you. When I started the book, I was like, I don't know if I like you. But you know what? I ended up really, really enjoying it. Basically, you're going to follow Allie Morris. She's a professional organizer who her own life is a mess. And she and her husband are finally getting a divorce. He's kind of a bum, like not kind of, he's a big bum, a loser. But anyway, they're finally getting a divorce, and she's struggling from grief because her mother had passed away. She's going through this divorce. She's got 3 kids, and she just has to rediscover her life. And I really wasn't sure this was going to be my vibe, but genuinely really liked it. I thought it was cute. I thought it was funny. I liked the MC. I don't know. I liked Allie. I thought she had a lot of growth, and it was nice to see her go from, like being in PJs to, becoming like a professional woman and doing her thing and being a baddie. So really enjoyed this. And this was a really good summer romance book, I would say too. Helped with that like summery vibe that I was looking for. So I think I gave this one like a 4 out of 5 because I genuinely enjoyed it and I ate it up. Okay, the last physical book I read in August was actually a mystery thriller. I decided to get away from the romance and kind of start my fall vibes, September vibes a little early. So I picked up The Good Sister by Sally Hempworth. This book was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a good little thriller. It wasn't as high stakes as maybe some other thrillers are, but it was really interesting. The dynamic between the sisters was crazy, and the whole time you're just like, what is happening? Like, it's just a weird book. Now, you're following 2 sisters. You have Fern, which is so funny because I had just read Meet Me by the Lake, so I was like, Fern, what are the odds? I got 2 books back to back like that. And then Rose, and they're basically twins, and they had this very terrible childhood, or so one of them says. The other one says it was fine, and basically you kind of are going through them as adults and how that has affected them and made their lives the way they are. Now, Fern, she really reminded me of the character in Strange Sally Diamond by Liz Nugent, which, by the way, is one of my all-time favorite books, and I think about it at least once or twice a week. That's how often I think about this messed up book. Now, this one was not as messed up as Strange Sally Diamond, but Strange Sally Diamond is one of the craziest books I ever read, and I can't stop thinking about it. But Fern really reminded me of Sally, so it was, I don't know, I really liked the character a lot because of that. But genuinely, it was a good twisty. I think I would rate it like a 3.5 maybe out of 5. It was very good. It wasn't like the most like shocking thing ever, but it was a good mystery, and the twin aspect was interesting and a little creepy, to be honest with you. Okay, let's talk about the 3 audiobooks that I listened to in August. So the first one I listened to was The Book of Doors by Gareth Brown. Now, I don't know what to say about this book because I liked it, but I also didn't like it. It was a good book, but it also kind of wasn't. And I don't know how to explain it other than, let me tell you a little bit about it. Basically, this book is magical realism meets suspense, maybe thrillery. So it has a lot of different genre blending, I guess. And you're following Cassie as she discovers this book of doors, which allows her to transport to any place in the world by a door. As long as she can picture the door, she can go through it. And she gets herself into this crazy world of books that have all sorts of villains and heroes and people fighting over these books because they're magical books. They can do all sorts of things. Like the book of luck, there's a book of health, there's a book of demons, like so many different crazy books that can allow people to do good and bad things. And obviously bad people want them and good people want them. So she finds herself kind of in the middle of this, and a lot goes down in the book. And I don't know, like I really did enjoy it. While I was listening to it, I was enjoying it. But then afterwards, I think about it and be like, I don't know what is happening. So I would say give it a chance. It's probably like a 3 to 4 for me, just because again, I'm really a little indecisive about it. But it was an interesting read or listen, and I don't know. It was just a weird one. It was a weird audiobook for me. Okay, the next audiobook I'm going to talk about is one that you absolutely need to add to your audiobook TBR immediately. And I really recommend this one as an audiobook because it was phenomenal. Phenomenal. I ate it up. And it's called The Favorites by Layne Fargo. And oh my gosh, was this an interesting read. Now, it's about figure skating. Okay, and bear with me. You're going to be like, figure skating. Okay, whatever. That can't be so dramatic. It was super juicy. There was ambition and secrets and betrayal and all sorts of like elite athletes like coming at each other and sponsors and coaches, and oh my gosh. And the way they did it was really cool because it was basically like a documentary where they're interviewing different people that have been part of this world years later to comment on these skaters and what transpired. And honestly, they did such a good job with having all sorts of different actors and multiple people doing the voices, and they really did. It was so good. Like I could not stop listening to this. I highly, highly recommend it. I don't really want to talk too much about the story because I genuinely think you should just jump into this one not knowing a lot, but I guarantee you will love it. It is so, especially if you love like a juicy drama. Chef's kiss. Like this was such a fun listen, and listen to this one because you will not be disappointed. Okay, the last audiobook that I listened to in August was The Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors. And as per usual, I found another sad book that I loved. So I don't know, sue me. I obviously like sad stories. I don't know a lot about these books going in, or I know nothing, to be honest with you. This one I knew nothing about. And this one, I'm going to give you lots of trigger warnings for this because it deals with grief and addiction and familial problems and relationships. And truthfully, it's a pretty dark book, but it has a good story, and it shines a light on generational addiction, generational like family dynamics, and what love of a sister means. And I have sisters, so I know what that's like. I know that love that you have for your sisters. It's just like no other. I can't even explain it. I love them so truly and deeply within me, and I really felt like I could relate to these characters in that sense. But essentially in the Blue Sisters, there's 4 sisters. One of them has sadly passed away, and you're following the 3 of them basically trying to navigate their lives a year after the loss of the sister, and like going from a foursome to a threesome, and what that means for their family, especially in their family where they grew up with a very alcoholic, abusive father and a very absent mother. So, they really are struggling in their adult lives, and you really see like what it means to be a sister and how they have to come together to basically to get over this and be able to be the best people that they can be. And it was a beautiful story. It's a long story, but it's also really interesting. Each sister has a very different personality and unique POV. Now, I will say the chapters are very long, and I did listen to them because basically each chapter is like a sister, and they're just doing like a chunk of time. So that sometimes the chapters were like 50 minutes at least, but you know what, I just end up pausing it sometimes and picking it up later if I couldn't finish it. But it was really an excellent, excellent story, and I highly recommend it. I think I would rate it maybe like a 4 out of 5. Genuinely such a good story and very touching, but also very dark and sad. So I don't know. If you like that kind of thing like I do, I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, and that's everything that I read and listened to in August. As you can see, I had a very busy month of reading. It was a really good month of reading for me. I enjoyed all the books for the most part, and I read a lot of different genres, which was really fun. So I don't know, have you guys read any of these? Have you listened to any of these? What are your thoughts? Leave me a comment below which one's your favorite or which one's on your radar now. I would love to know. And as always, if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the subscribe button because you'll get all my videos that way. I'm here on YouTube once a week and on Shorts. And I'm also on Instagram and TikTok, Booked with Juby. I love you all so much. Happy reading. Bye.